Hey everybody. Well, I know there are some people out there who are interested in vacuum systems, so I thought what I would do for you today is show the one that we have. Many of you have seen this canister before, and today I thought let's make a video on it, alright? So here we go. It's a central vacuuming system made by NuTone. As you can see the name right on there, and right on there. Very simple setup. This is your canister where everything happens, and you can see here. Here's the lines that go along to different parts of the house for all the different ports that are around there. And basically, this canister is set up simple enough. Like I said, the air goes into there, and then the air comes out the top here, and then goes out the top and outside the house. This is exhausted outside the house, which is pretty cool. And here's one of the ports. This is the kind of port where it has there's like a magnet on the hose, and it activates a relay in here, which lets the vacuum activate. And I'll show that to you how that works in a bit. So here's one of the ports right here. The setup of this canister is very nice. It gives you many options on how to connect your inlet pipes. For example, if you go down here, you're just trying to go right into the container with no bag, and the top one is if you're using a bag. Obviously we're using a bag because we have the top one connected. And what's nice is that they even give you options on the left side as well, so you can go either to the left or right of the canister. It's nice that it gives you those options. And I'll show you the bag right now. If I open up this little door right here, okay, this is a HEPA filtration bag, and I gotta tell you, these things are freaking awesome because instead of having to empty a container full of dust and whatever every time the vacuum gets full, and believe me, we had to do that all the time in the Long Island house. We hated doing it. Instead, this time, you just take out a bag and put a new one in, and then guess what? That's it. You don't have to get hit with any dust or dirt, nothing. It's very, very great. And basically, it's a very simple, like I said, setup. What's nice is that this is an override switch. We'll get to that in a little bit. And this is model VX550. And this indicator right here tells you how full the container or the bag is. For our case, it's the bag. And currently, the second light has lit up. The way this works is that the first three lights are all green, and then this one is amber, and that one's red. And then if this indicator goes all the way up to red, what's going to happen is it's going to disable the canister until you replace the bag and reset the indicator. So that's how that works. And these vents you see up here are just for the ventilation for the motor, you know, to keep it cool. The air goes in this side and it comes out of this side right here. One thing I actually did leave out is that even if you have to even when you replace the bag, they say there may be some kind of filter screen up top or something that may require like a little bit of cleaning or like, you know, brushing off, but like trust me, compared to the Long Island house vacuum canister, it's like nothing. So it really isn't all that bad. Just want to keep that important detail in there. And this vacuum is connected simply right into a standard outlet, 120 volts, and like I said, it'll run depending on either the override switch or if you have a hose in and you have the things connected to it. So like, you know, the relay clicks, you turn on the switch, and the thing starts operating. Very simple enough. Okay. What I'm going to show you over here are the accessories that we have for this NuTone vacuum. Okay, the one on the left we got with the vacuum itself, and then the one on the right my parents got separately, I think from Amazon or something, I can't remember. It could have been from NuTone's website, I can't remember. Just so that way we have, you know, one for the second floor, one for the first floor. And we may in the future have one for down here, but you know, it all depends. We'll see what happens, alright? Let's go ahead and have a look at them. So like I said, this is the one that came with the vacuum itself when they got the house. Here's your standard hard surface brush, if you want to call it that. Here's the hose, and here's the hose connector for the port. It's black, which is pretty cool. And somewhere within there is the magnet for the relay. And this plug with the wires you see here is for an electrically powered connecting. I'm sorry, let me try it again. An electrically powered accessory that you may have to use, like the power brush over there. But we'll get to that in a little bit. Okay. So the hose is right here, and here's your hose end where you can hook into different connectors. And here's the power switch. Right now it's on off. One is just the vacuum canister itself, and two will activate anything electrically powered again, like the power brush. And that's basically how it works. Very cool. Very good. You know, it does what it's supposed to, and it's very good. The only complaints I have is there's a lot of plastic on here, okay? And like, you know, I'm always worried about if you hit this the wrong way, will it crack, will it break? I'm not sure. But like I said, aside from that, it does the job. It gets the dirt up very well. So just a lot of plastic on here I happen to notice, like compared to the one in the Long Island house. But like I said, it does the job very well, so I can't really complain about performance. And the hose doesn't kink too easily. If it does, just give it a little like flip, whatever, and it goes right out. Very, very good. And no complaints about this brush too. It does very well. Okay, and this power brush here is made by Honeywell, as you can see right there. It has a little LED light on the front, or a few LEDs that light up when it's operating. And here's the connector for it. It's again, my only complaint is it has a lot of plastic. Like this is plastic here, as you can see, but this part is metal, so I mean at least that's good. And there's a little LED status light right here, okay, that will light up when you turn it on. What's cool about this power brush is that it has like jam detection, if you want to call it that, okay? When you first turn on the power brush, this green light will come on and then it'll start operating. But if at any time something causes the brush to like an obstruction causes the brush to either spin too low or jam completely, within like a second it's going to cut power to it, and then this LED will change to flashing red, meaning there's an obstruction, and that's why it stopped operating. You can easily reset that by simply shutting the switch off for the power brush and then turning it back on, and then it's all good to go, provided it has freedom to move. One plus I will give this though is that it's very easy to connect and disconnect this this pipe fitting. Basically, it's connected right now. To disconnect, you simply push down on this connector here and lift right up. See, and it comes right off. And it does give you, let's see, 5 different options for how long you want the hose to be. It's currently on the longest setting. If you want to change it, you simply push this button forward, and then you can move it however you want until it locks into the next notch. And then to put it back in the power brush, you simply line up the power connectors and then just drop it in like so until it clicks. See, there we go. See? Easy enough. And you can see it's now connected to lifting the brush up. Alright guys, and this one over here is the extra one that my parents got that we currently use for the first floor. A lot of these things do seem similar to the other one, but it might be like a higher model of sorts. I don't know the company that makes this, unfortunately, or the hose itself, but I think it's like a little bit of a higher model. It has a few extra features that kind of like show that, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so over here you have your same thing. It's the same connector as the other one. The only difference is this one's gray instead of black. And this hose actually has a cloth covering around it. The reason for that is because if you're pulling it along and it's rubbing against the wall, it's not going to make any wall marks over time, which I think is very good. The company of this cloth covering is somewhere. Oh, here it is. It's called Socket. That's kind of interesting. Central vacuum hose cover. Pretty interesting. Okay. And same thing as the other accessory. Performance-wise, it does just the same. Does a very good job. Plenty of airflow. Get everything in. But the immediate difference you can see here is that much more metal in terms of the connectors, as you can see right here. This is all metal except for the switches and things like that. But the majority of it is all metal, which is very nice. And as you can see right here, there are many more options for the length that you want this to be out. Again, this is on the longest setting like that one is, but you can see there's many more notches that give you more options of how long you want the hose to be. And to change it, you simply, kind of like the other one, you push this thing forward and then slide it across, and then just wherever you want it, that's where it goes. So very, very simple. And the same thing on this here. Here's the power switch connector, if you want to call it that, right here. Again, a lot of plastic here, but has a metal end for a connector, which I think is very good. And here's the switch. This one's a little bit different. The middle is actually off, and left is just the canister, and then to the right is the canister and whatever electric accessory you have connected to it, provided that the hose is plugged into an outlet. Okay? So at first I didn't like this too much. I kind of like how, that one is off 1, 2, but this one is 1 off 2. But when I thought about it, it's probably easier to just hit it to the right or to the left to not skip a setting by accident. If you want to just go back to the canister, you can simply hit it, go to the left fast enough, and provided, excuse me, Like I said, if you do it fast enough, it'll just go right to and not interrupt the canister in any way, so it's very good. Again, I do like how this one has more metal on it compared to the other one. And like I said, both of the brushes are pretty much identical. The only difference is the color. There's really no difference aside from that. They both do an excellent job, and I don't really have any comparisons on both of these standard brushes. But if you notice, this one came with 2 accessories. Like, this one comes with that brush, and then you have one for the power brush too. And the power brush is a pretty interesting device on this one, okay? It's made by, I think you say that's Sebo, I'm not sure, and check that out. Made in Germany, pretty cool. This one has a couple of extra options. Okay, this little dial right here is how far down the rotating brush goes, okay? And right now it's set to 2, so basically if you put it to 4, the brush goes down further, I guess, to help it clean a little bit deeper, but we have it set to 2. Oh, excuse me. We have it set to 2 right now, and that does just fine. Okay, and these 2 things over here are pretty cool. This is the on/standby button. I have it on standby right now, just so you can show it to you later. When this is on standby, it lights up amber, and when it's on, it lights up green. And this is a warning light of sorts. The way this works is it's kind of interesting. When you're just brushing or vacuuming a rug floor, it's totally fine. But whenever you take the brush off the rug or move to a hard surface, this is obviously going to spin faster. And when it spins faster, it causes this red LED to come on, I guess as a warning. I don't know if it's saying it's over revving or if it's on the wrong kind of surface. Maybe that's what it means, but it is pretty cool. And the same thing applies to this power brush, like the Honeywell one over there. If it gets obstructed in any way, it's going to cut power to it, and then you simply reset that by shutting off the power brush by the connector here, and then just turning it back on. And as long as it can spin up when you turn it on, it should be just fine. And again, this one has a lot more notches to give you a length setting that you want. So that gives it a plus there, and a lot more metal. And this metal does feel pretty good. It doesn't feel like, pot metal or anything like that. It does feel like a pretty, I mean, it's aluminum, but for what it is, it does feel pretty strong, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, just like I said, usually, most of the time, metal I really do like. And this one is actually, I forgot to mention, this one you can pull off its standing position just by pulling, but this one, not too hard, just there's a little orange tab that you have to push down to unlock it. So basically, if I put it back now, you can see that the brush is just going with it. Okay, and then if I push down on this tab right here, push down, see? And now you can move it back and forth just as much as you want. And then you can, do your vacuuming just as so. And then if you want to put it back to the standing position, just put it back up. And it locks into place, and just let it go. There you go. The only downside to this power brush is that it's just it's not hard, but it's just a little more involved to getting the connector off of the power brush. On this one, if you remember, you can just step on the thing with your foot and pull it up. This one, what you do is you go down here, okay, and you push on this connector here, or tab, I should say. You pull up on this. Try and do this one-handed. There you go, and it comes off. So like I said, it's not hard to get it off. It's just a little more involved. And then to put it back on, you simply put it in and then just line up the connector and then snap it right in. And that's how you do it. Probably the only thing that the Sebo power brush lacks compared to the Honeywell is that the Honeywell, has the light on the front to light up the area in front, but this one doesn't have it. But at the same time, it really isn't that big of a deal because when you're vacuuming, usually you're in a pretty bright area. Unless you're in a corner, I can kind of see what the advantage would be to have the headlight on it. But most of the time you're vacuuming in a pretty well-lit area, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem. And for the most part, as long as you go over the surface, it should catch whatever it has to. Anyway, let me show you both of these power brushes underneath and show you some of the differences, if there really are that many. Okay, and here's both the power brushes turned over. For the most part, they don't look too different. Some of the differences you may see are where the air actually goes for the power brush is a little bit different. On the Sebo one over here, you basically, you can see that it goes kind of on towards the side. Okay, and on the Honeywell power brush, it goes more towards the middle. You can tell by the angle of the brush itself. Like when I turn it by hand, you can see which direction it's going. And on the Sebo, it goes more towards this area here. Like I said, both brushes seem to do a very good job of everything. The only thing I noticed is this one is just a little bit longer than this one over here. Now that can be an advantage and both a disadvantage, okay? The advantage obviously is that the longer the brush is, okay, the more area it can vacuum up for you. And but when you're a little bit smaller, if you have a tight space, like let's say, I don't know, next to a table or maybe a couch, this is probably a little bit more fitting because you actually can fit it in and get everything you need to. One advantage this obviously has is that it has an adjustable height, whereas this one is just what it is what it is. But again, I've never experienced this brush not getting stuff that it's supposed to, and same with this one. So really, for the most part, both power brushes do a very good job. They just have some differences here and there that kind of, I guess, maybe cosmetic differences and maybe operational differences, but again, for the most part, they both do very well. And now let's go ahead and get some operation of this, okay? We're going to connect one of the hoses and start to go. We'll start with the first hose, obviously, since it makes the most sense. I just want to let you guys know the override switch is going to come into play here because that port is not electrically connected. So you will hear a relay click, but it's not going to do anything because there's no electrical power to this port, I guess because it's right by the canister. So in this case, you'll get to see the override switch in operation, so you can see how it goes. So then I guess what we'll do here is, before we get all the noise, we're going to use the regular brush, okay, and we're just going to connect this right to the connector. I'm doing this one hand yet again. Or there it is, see? You just slide it right in, if I can get it to fit. Yep, and then just give it a good push. Yep, it's in. And you release it with this button right here, okay? Now, I just want to let you guys know that I don't know if my camera's going to do the whole sound adjustment thing like it does with some loud noises. So if it does, I apologize, but just be prepared for that, okay? Alright, so if I connect this to the port right here, and I'm not going to plug it in just yet because I'm not using the power brush at the moment. Lift this up. Okay, and then you should hear a click when it goes in a certain amount. Let's see. Hear that? And then if it was electrically connected, then it would start going. But since it's not in this case, we're just going to use the override switch, okay? And we're just going to do some of this bare basement slab for the moment, and then we'll move over to the rug so I can show the power brushes in operation, okay? I don't know what's dirt and what's like paint marks, so we'll just pick up what we can, all right? So we'll start with this hose first, and we'll see how it operates, all right? So we got the hose in, all right, and here we go. You see, it really gets a lot of the stuff off nicely. And we got some dirt over here. And some stuff here too. See, it takes it right up. Very nice. And we got some stuff in the corner here too. See, and as you can see, that brush on the hard surface did pick up a ton of stuff. And you really saw a lot of dirt and other things. When they're on the floor, the brush went over it and they were gone. So you can see it does very well. And I will do some corner stuff with the other one though because it's metal. But for now, let's connect to the power brush and we'll do an operation of that. For each power brush, we're just going to do, I guess, roughly half the area rug, just to do half and half like for the other one as well. Okay, and then, so basically, I'll see if I can also get it to trip the jam detector so I can show you what I'm talking about, okay? So we'll do about half the rug, okay? And like I said, normally you'd be able to just do it all from right there, but since the override switch comes into play for this one, I'll do it over there. What I actually can do is, if you want, I can show you the noise level of the power brush itself. First we have to plug this in, this way. Wait. There we go. And then if I put it to 2, I don't want to vacuum anything up yet, so I'll go like a clean part right here. I'll just throw it up to 2 and you can hear it. That's kind of what it sounds like. You can see the green LED on the back. Alright, so then let's go and turn on the canister and then see how the rug comes out. Sawdust right there. Okay, let's see if I can get the jam detection to work. Okay, I'll turn it on. This is a really thick rug. So if you give it a little bit of pressure on the front, see, right there. And it so that green LED is now flashing red because of an obstruction, and it powered off, as you can see. So then to reset that, you simply turn the power brush off. And once that light goes off completely, you turn it back on. See? And it's all back to normal, just like it was before. Just like that. Okay. Okay. Alright, so that finishes up that hose. And then let's go ahead and connect the other hose to the canister. Got the other hose connected now. That one's up on the port. And now we'll just connect this one just to show you how it works. I give it a little bit of a head start just to make it a little bit easier. You just kind of slide this forward, see? And then you hear a click. I'm trying. Here, let's put this, there we go. See? Nice click. Very solid click, okay? So we'll probably go over this part of the floor, something or like around here, okay? Or maybe over there where I didn't really cover. So let's go over to the canister, turn it on, and we'll get this one going. Go over here, I guess. Got something there. Okay. And let me take this brush off to show you how I can do a corner. Okay, got the brush off, and now we'll just go along a corner here. Oh, here's some stuff going up the vacuum. All right, put the brush back on. Sometimes if you go a little too fast, it might skip it. Oh, that took rather nicely. All right. So as you see, it works just as well as the other one pretty much. All right, let's go ahead and test the power brush now. And just like the other one, you just turn it in the correct position and just push it down. Gets a good click, okay? Now, just like the other one, I'll run just the brush itself, so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. Oh, it's in standby, that's right. See the amber light, like I said? If you give it a push, it'll turn on. This one is significantly quieter than the other one, as you can see. Or here, I guess you could say. Definitely quieter, and definitely does do well. Now, if I lift it up, like I showed you before, see that light, that red light comes on? I guess it's because it means, like I said, maybe it's the wrong surface or it's just going too fast. I don't know. Then put it back down. And you can see it goes back to normal for the most part. I guess because I did this part already. You can see it does very well. And just turn it off right there. And what's cool is that the power button is actually mechanical control because it will remember where you left it or not, whether on standby or directly on. All right, so there you go. All right, let's turn this on and give this a go. Just show you the light going on again. This maybe had a little bit less to breathe than the other one did, but you can see it, for the most part, it does just as well. See, very good operation. Another interesting feature with this particular power brush is that if you put the thing up to the standing point, watch, it actually disables it. And then when you put it back down, it turns back on. That's pretty interesting. Okay, now for the jam detection on this, just give it a little bit of pressure right here. See? It detected the jam, and then the power light goes out, and then the red light blinks like that. So all you have to do is simply reset it. You simply turn the power brush off. Here, let me show you that. Turn the power brush off. Okay, then you just turn it back on. See, it just goes right back to the normal operation. So it's a very, very easy and nice setup like that. So pretty fancy power brush. Very quiet, as if you notice. And really does the job very well. So definitely a good product, and made in Germany, should definitely last a long time. Very, very good. Okay. I'll just lay this down, actually. Okay. Just waited for it to stop completely. I know some of you love hearing the spin down time, and just before the dehumidifier turned on, so very good timing. Okay, well, there you have it, guys. That is the NuTone central vacuum system that we have in this house. Again, the canister itself, very powerful, and not too loud at all, honestly, really not all that bad. And both accessories, some differences here and there, but they both do the job and keep the house very, very clean. Same thing with the basement especially. So, Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was a pretty fun video to make for you. I hope you enjoyed all my demonstrations and everything, okay? Thank you very much for watching, and take care.